Hey, what's going on, guys? Gabe Cuello here, helping you optimize your human performance and potential. This is my 12-week fat loss transformation series where I become the case study and share how I go about this process. I'll be sharing throughout this series my knowledge, thoughts, and the best tips to help you attain the same, if not better, results. And this is the first part of how to attain your fat loss goal. So when people start to think about fat loss, they tend to think about the types of diets they're going to be following, which is the best cardiovascular exercises to be performing, or perhaps what's the workout routine that's going to be helping me attain my goal by the end of this 12 weeks. However, what people tend to miss out on is the most important factor, our mental fitness. You see, fat loss is quite easy. You maintain a caloric deficit, you train hard to make sure you maintain your muscle mass, you up a little bit on your activity to create that greater energy expenditure, you eat healthy, and so on. But the process, the day-to-day, week by week, life and demanding circumstances, the demands of our goal, our varying energy levels, right? Our social circle, our environment, all are what makes this so challenging. The grand majority of challenges we face during this transformation all stem from here. And a lack of mental fitness is the number one reason why so many people fail. To ensure that we are prepared and fit for this fat loss transformation, we must start off correctly by getting our mental fitness in check. With that being said, we're going to begin with our very first step, defining our goal. Many of us have goals or dreams. Some have a lot, some have a few, some are big, some are small. Regardless of what it is, the one thing that they all share is a desirable outcome. We understand goals could be challenging, as it should be, but initially when we start off, one of the reasons why we fail is because, regardless of our lack of a motivation and discipline, by the way, is because we have a lack of definition of our goal. To ensure that we start this transformation correctly, let's go over a few things that make a well-defined goal. Many of us tend to hit or miss this part. Look, we are surrounded by so much emotional content that it's distracting us. It distracts us because it disables our ability to pay attention to what our own inner voice is telling us. This might mean that this goal may not be from the deepest core, but perhaps from the surface, meaning that we saw something on Instagram. We feel like we have to compare ourselves and go ahead and attain that. Or perhaps someone meaningful had said a remark or said something that made us feel unnatural. The challenge here is in knowing if this is your goal, or if this goal was based on a momentary feeling influenced externally. So how do we know if this is our goal or dream? Well, let's go over a few questions to help us find out. Have you experienced recurring thoughts or themes? Have you desired this outcome for a long time now? Do you always feel that you're drawn or maybe perhaps gravitate towards this goal or theme all the time? Of however many goals that you have, does this one rank up high? When you start to think about this goal or perhaps a dream, does it energize you? If you answered yes to all of them, there's a good chance that you might have an authentic goal. So the next part that we're going to do here to have a well-defined goal is to ask ourselves, is it specific? A common problem we tend to have for those of us who set goals is to not clearly identify what it is that we want. Too often we hear people say that they want to lose weight, get lean, or perhaps lose weight here, feel like they were in their 20s, get stronger. However, none of these are specific. What these are vague goals. Vague goals breeds uncertainty, unclarity, and disrupts our ability to properly self-regulate. To have a specific goal is to clearly identify what it is we want. So if it's to lose weight, great. How much? If it's to get stronger, okay, where? On what exercise? On what skill set? Right? To get lean, okay, how lean? To feel like you were in your 20s, okay, what was that feeling like? And sometimes even after finding your specific goal, you're going to have to go in a little deeper, perhaps sharpen it for a greater clarity. So the last thing we're going to do here to define our goal is to ask ourselves if it's a transparent goal. Look, many of us who have goals or dreams understand that there's going to be a huge price to pay. This could mean time, sacrifice, perhaps distancing our friends and family members, emotional stress, psychological stress, for sure physical stress, and things like that. But the whole point of transparency is to be fully aware of what it is that you are getting yourself into. So no surprises, just a full understanding that this is going to be a goal that might come with a lot of risk or perhaps reward, but none of that matters. What matters is that you know clearly that this is readily available for you if you are willing to work for it. A fat loss transformation is no joke. It is challenging and it will humble you. It will reveal your strengths and your weak links. You will change mentally and physically. People will recognize this. However, how you are perceived is not in your control and it will come over you. But never let it overcome you. All right, so now that we cover what a well-defined goal is, let's see it in application. All right, so I'm going to be the case study, as I said before, and I'm going to share with you my goal and go through this process so that way you can apply it for yourself. My goal is to drop 20 pounds. Okay, well, let's see if it's a well-defined goal. Is it authentic? Well, ever since I was a kid, I was very young. I've always been doing push-ups, aspired to look like the bodybuilders or the action stars that I would see on TV who are very lean and aesthetic. I've always believed that I could attain that because at that time I was very physical. I loved pushing myself and challenging myself. And therefore, ever since then, I've been going through that journey in self-development physically that it led me to who I am today. And it comes to this point where we're all in 2020 and I'm noticing like, man, I've lost shape. I lost size. I'm not who I used to be. I don't feel the way I am supposed to be. Therefore, this is the goal I want to set out, and this is something I've been always wanted to do. So yes, it's reoccurring. It's a reoccurring thought and a theme. It's amongst my highest in terms of rank. I've been wanting this for a long time. So it meets all the marks. Therefore, it is an authentic goal. So the next thing I'm going to do is ask myself if it's specific, right? My goal is to drop 20 pounds. It might seem that it is very clear and specific, right? We have a number. We are very specific with identifying what it is that we want to drop 20 pounds. However, I'm going to go in a little deeper in saying that this is not specific. Here's why. My goal is to drop 20 pounds. 20 pounds of what? 20 pounds of fat, 20 pounds of water weight, 20 pounds of muscle mass, right? Stool, shit. You know, it could be amongst a little bit of everything. However, for fat loss, I'm just going to tell you this right now. For fat loss, it should never be muscle mass. Never. Is it going to happen? There's a good chance that it might, okay? It's just natural. However, the aim is not to lose muscle mass. The aim is to drop fat mass, okay? So could I clear this up? Absolutely. How can I make it more specific? Well, my goal is to drop 20 pounds of fat. All right, so this next thing we're going to do is ask ourselves if it's transparent. Look, I've been doing this shit for a while. I'm pretty aware that this thing is going to be freaking tough, but because of practice and repetition of the trial and error and doing what it is that I do to achieve this fat loss goal, I'm fully aware of what to expect. However, you may not be. So this is something I'm trying to let you know by being fully transparent and understanding that it's going to take time, it's going to take sacrifice, it's going to take some acknowledgement of how your interaction with people may not be the same, and hope that maybe they understand where you're coming from and support you all the way, because it's going to be freaking tough. And if you feel like you're not getting that support, yo, come to this channel. If you haven't subscribed already, I got you. Now that we went through this together, give yourself a chance. Get your notebook or journal or a whiteboard and run through this process. Once you've done with that, if you're willing, share what your defined goal is in the comment section below. That's it for this video. I appreciate you taking the time and watching it and demonstrating your willingness to become the change. On our next video, we're going to cover the next step. So be sure to hit like and subscribe so you don't miss out on that. I look forward to seeing you there.